Welcome to our demonstration. This demonstration is going to show how decentralized identity and the technologies associated with decentralized identity can be used in B2B transactions between supply chains. This demonstration is the results of a joint development project between GLEIF, the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation, Bloomberg, and IBM. We're going to go over several topics with this demonstration. First, introducing the concepts behind the technology and some of the reasons why the proof of concept was undertaken, and then actually going into the demonstration itself. For those of you who are not familiar with the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation, or GLEIF, this is a nonprofit foundation in Europe. It stems from some of the financial crisis that happened, activity that happened back in 2008, and a long haul of creating a standard called an LEI, a Legal Entity Identifier, that is used by financial institutions today, kind of like the way a DUNS number is used, but more globally available across international boundaries. The banks use LEIs, many customers use LEIs, and for those who are interested in finding out more, please go to gleif.org and take a look at their governance framework on how legal entity identifiers are actually issued by certified LEI issuing institutions, one of which is Bloomberg, who I believe is, to this date, is issued somewhere in the neighborhood of 110,000 LEIs, representing vetted companies. What we're trying to solve with decentralized identity is the problem of verification, or the process of verifiability. Today we live in a verifiability process that is very brokered. It's heavy, it's bureaucratic, it's sometimes fraudulent. We want to leverage mathematically verifiable cryptographic mechanisms or technologies such that verifiability is instantaneous. It's less bureaucratic. It's more frictionless. It's again instantaneous. That's the problem we're trying to solve. This goal is a community-driven goal. It's based on a set of technologies. We call it the trust over IP stack, and it pertains to the issuance and verification of trusted data in a trust triangle between issuers, holders, and verifiers of digital credentials. For more information about this, please refer to the trustoverip.org website. So our demonstration is going to touch on two possible end-to-end flows. Each one going through the example of sharing digital data or trusted data between peer-to-peer entities, and then subsequently being able to use that data in downstream relationships. In the case of the first end-to-end that we're going to focus on, the main end-to-end, we're going to hypothetically assume that IBM's Food Trust Business Network requires new suppliers upon their onboarding to be go through passwordless onboarding, to do so by presenting two forms of digital credentials. One being a trust your supplier credential, and we'll talk about that in a moment, and another credential from a founding member of the Food Trust Network. Now, a hypothetical company, Acme Brick, actually it's not hypothetical, it's actually a company, Acme Brick, to be onboarded, not saying why Acme Brick would want to be part of Food Trust, but this is a demonstration. We'll get more into that in a moment. The company Acme here wants to get onboarded into Food Trust, and they're going to need to bring to the table certain digital credentials to go through the process. So in this exercise, they first need to go to Trust Your Supplier Network to be vetted by Trust Your Supplier Network. In that case, they're going to need to obtain an LEI. They get an LEI from Bloomberg, a legal entity identifier issuer. Bloomberg is established as a certified issuer by GLEIF and are given the credentials to do so by GLEIF. And then Watson Organic Farms is an assumed hypothetical founding member of this food trust network. Again, this is a flow to show some of the activity here end to end. But what is important here is as we go through this exercise and show the demonstration, some of the peer-to-peer interactions are just for one proof request. Others are compound proof requests, and that's where business policy comes into place. So here we're assuming that the food trust business policy is that they require a vetted trusted supplier credential as well as a founding member credential, and so forth. There's another variation of this where trusted supplier is not in the picture, and Acme would just go to food trust. In this case, the food trust policy would be that they would do the vetting of an LEI and the founding member credential, right? So it all comes down to business policy options.